All right, so we got basics two up. You have to forgive me, I'm a little congested, so who knows what my voice sounds like. Basics two is a lot like the first basics. They slowly evolve. That's what they do. Here we're just going to add 8 to both sides. If you take a -3 and you add 8, I believe you get 5. And we divide by 5, and now we get an x value of 1. I did notice a couple of y'all on your last quiz, like you didn't do algebra. This is algebra. You will do algebra, or I will see you again next year. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times -8 is -16. And, there's 12. We're going to add 16 to both sides. Last I checked, 12 plus 16 was probably 28, but what do I know? We'll divide by 6. I noticed that 6 and 28 are both even, which means they're both divisible by 2. So 14/3. Assuming I'm not making any mistakes. If I am, just fix the mistake. Don't be a blind copier. 3 started getting pretty rough for some of my students. Some of y'all don't understand algebra, and this will be, your third year. You had algebra 1, geometry's got algebra in it, heck, 8th grade math has algebra in it. I don't know what you're doing, but you're not doing algebra. You're here to learn algebra. So I'm going to move the 5x to the right. I already had 9x. 5x is going to move right and change its sign. I'm going to move the 17 to the left. That's going to make it positive, and I already had a 9 over there. If I put 17 and 9 together, I think I get 28. No, I don't. I get 26. And 9 and 5 should make 14. And then we'll divide out the 14. Now, 26 and 14 are both divisible by 2. That would give me 13/7 being my x value. Number 4, you'd be very tempted to do the distributive property. I would not do it yet because taking 2/3 of 5 is kind of ugly. What I would do, but again, what do I know, is I would multiply both sides by 3. And the 3's cancel. So this leaves me with twice x plus 5 equal to 24. Now this 2 isn't a good place to distribute, or you could divide it out. It's up to you, but I'm going to distribute because most kids will, most people will. That'll give me 2x plus 10 equals 24. Then we'll subtract 10 from both sides. 2x is now 14, and we'll divide by 2, and my x value is 7. 5 is a rewrite an equation. I don't remember the numbers on here, but I think it's something like only 19% of the state of Tennessee can do this. And that is just, oh, God, that's bad. If you don't know what the formula is, that is the formula for the volume of a sphere. That's what it is. Anyways, I want to solve this thing for r. So I want to isolate that r. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to counteract that division with multiplication. 3's cancel. So 3 volumes is now 4 pi r cubed. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel out this multiplication. I'm multiplying r cubed by 4 and pi. So I'm going to divide both sides by pi. So 3b over 4 pi is now equal to r cubed. And the next thing I want to do is I want to counteract that cubing. So the opposite of cubing is cube rooting. It's just opposites. So I take the cubic root of both sides. And the cubic root of r cubed, we have a cancellation. It just frees up r. And I'm not going to figure out what this is. This is what it is. I mean, that's it. The cubic root of 3 volumes divided by 4 pi is the radius of a sphere. Ta-da! I don't expect that one to be too good of a thing for y'all, but I'm hoping we can get 60–70% of y'all getting it. Here's some ACT stuff, because you guys do take the ACT this year. We have a simple one. When x is a third, what is the value of 3x minus 6 over x? This is literally substitution. So we're just going to let that x value be a third. 3's cancel. This becomes 1 minus 6 over a third. This becomes negative 5 over a third. And if you're dividing by a third, it's like multiplying by 3. I think what you do is you 3 the top and you 3 the bottom, because that makes the cancellation happen. So this ends up being negative 15. Number 2, in the standard xy coordinate plane, what is the midpoint of the line segments that has endpoints 5, 10, and 1, negative 4? So all you really got to do is memorize midpoint formula. There's almost always something on the ACT that deals with midpoint. Anyways, midpoint formula is you take your x's, you add them together, and you divide by 2. You take your y's, you add them together, and divide by 2. And it's a really easy problem. So if I take my x's 5 and 1, add them together, divide by 2, and I take my y's, I'd have something that looks like that. Now 5 and 1 makes 6. And I'm showing all the work here. 10 minus 4 makes 6. I end up with this 0.33. And there you go. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. What just happened? I crashed. No! No, I didn't. I pushed a button. Now, how do I get back off that? I want this gone. There we go. Much better. Is there any way I can dock this thing? I'm tired of it hiding. 5, 6, and 7 probably had a 80–90% success rate on this on basicsI. Some of y'all don't know that x times x is x squared, and it shows. Like, do you even math, bro? Well, what have you been doing for the last 2 years of high school? Why are you in this room? How did you get here? So 3 times 4 is 12. X times x is x squared. And then 3 times 2 is negative 6. And then x, because it's just along for the ride. 6 and 7, I don't like to teach it this way because I feel it limits kids, but I want you to think about Miss Garner's room when she taught FOIL, which was first, outer, inner, last. You know, I saw